Hey folks, back again. Going to do a little short video. I guess the title says it all. Colt was bought by CZ. I believe it was last week. Before I get into this, y'all go check out downrangehatcompany.com. They've got some cool hats, jackets, shirts, bags, things like that for sale. I know all the guys that are owners in the company. They're all former military and current law enforcement. So go check it out and see what they got to offer. You might find something over there you like. Now let's get back to the topic at hand. CZ bought Colt. Now, if y'all don't know what CZ is, CZ75. CZ makes the CZ75. This is a variant of the 75. This is the SP01. Excellent gun, one of my favorite guns to shoot. But CZ has a reputation for quality. The CZ75, up until just here recently, I believe, was the most sold handgun in the world. The CZ75 platform is used by a lot of Eastern Bloc countries, their militaries, their police, even countries where they're allowed to own handguns over there. The CZ75 is very, very popular, and for good reason. Their quality control is outstanding. You very rarely get a CZ that's not 100% reliable. Their attention to detail is fabulous. CZ, I want to say it was about 10 years ago, bought Dan Wesson. So Dan Wesson is owned by CZ. If any of you know Dan Wesson 1911s and their revolvers, their modern ones, they are some of the best production quality revolvers revolvers and 1911s you'll find, period. Their attention to detail is as good as anybody, better than most. Their fit and finish is just awesome. They build some of the best 1911s out there right now. Their revolvers aren't very popular, but they do still build a pretty good revolver. I've not shot CZ's modern revolvers, but I've owned and shot a bunch of their modern 1911s, and they are fantastic. They don't use cast or metal injection molded parts. They use all tooled steel parts. There's a lot of hand fit that goes into their guns, and they are outstanding. What does that mean for Colt now that CZ bought them? Well, it's not going to be a negative. Let's face it, I don't like the fact that a company like Colt was bought by a foreign country either. Not so much a foreign country, but a foreign company. I don't like that. I don't like it. Colt has been owned by an American company for years. I will say that Colt has been worked over by these American companies too. A lot of the companies that own Colt weren't gun companies. They were actually holding companies. They wanted to make money. They didn't care how they made money, and Colt suffered for it. Colt still builds some good guns, but I can almost promise you that the quality of guns that Colt will come out with in the next year or so, now that Dan Wesson or that CZ owns them, will be some of the best guns Colt have ever made. I'll almost be willing to guarantee you that. I don't see CZ owning a gun company like Colt and turning out anything less than a near perfect product. So what does that mean for Colt? It's good for Colt. It's good for Colt. They're going to probably build their brand back to be known as a quality firearm. You're probably going to be able to go out and pick up a Colt off the shelf once CZ gets them out there, and you're going to have confidence that the gun's going to work, the fit's going to be good, and if there's any problem, they're going to take care of it for you. That's not always the case when you buy a Colt nowadays. If any of y'all know, I am a Colt guy. Love Colts. I think they use good parts for their guns. But Colt's quality in the last 30 years really has left a little bit to be desired. I believe Dan Wesson is going to bring that quality up, and you're going to be getting a lot more gun for the money. The downside, I believe the cost of Colt firearms is fixing to go up. Not because Dan Wesson sees an opportunity to make more money, but because the changes they're going to implement are probably going to cost money. They're probably going to go back to tooled steel internal parts, which they should. That costs money. They're probably going to go back to more handwork on the slides and frames, and they should, but that costs money. They're probably going to add or put a lot of money into research and development, and they should, but just like I said, that costs money. So this gun that was selling before the pandemic for about $750 is now probably going to cost you, after the pandemic calms down and everything, probably going to cost you $1,000. But I believe you're going to get more bang for your buck. I think you're going to have a lot better fitment. I think you're going to have a lot better attention to detail. And I don't see this as a bad thing for Colt. I actually see this as a good thing for Colt, because it's going to restore their name. And it's probably going to bring a lot of interesting models down the pipeline here in the not too distant future. I'd be willing to bet here in the next couple of years you're going to see several models come out of Colt that are on par or exceed the quality that come out of CZ or out of Dan Wesson. And I think you're going to see some models coming out of Colt that have a lot of the features that you've been asking for and wanting, but Colt just never did. I also think CZ will maintain Colt's heritage with their blued finish guns. I think you'll still be able to buy A1 models. I think they will probably release some retro models. Why not? You've got the name for it. If you can keep the quality up, why not produce some retro models? Because they'll sell. The World War I retros and the World War II retros, they'll sell. So all in all, my thoughts on CZ buying Colt, I think overall it's a good thing. I don't really like that a foreign company bought Colt, but at the same time, I'm glad it's a company that's going to turn it around more than likely and start producing some really high quality guns. And I think the one downside of it is that the price is going to go up, but I think the benefits of that price hike will outweigh the price hike. Leave some comments down at the bottom. Tell me what y'all think about CZ buying Colt. Tell me if y'all think it's a good thing or a bad thing. Like I said, I would rather keep it an American-owned company, but dadgum, in today's society, look how many companies are global companies. Ram, for existence, or Chrysler, for example. They're not even Fiat Chrysler anymore. They're something else. It's a global company. Look at Nissan. It's owned by, I think, Renault. There's so many global companies out there now that keeping Colt as an American company probably just wasn't an option. There was probably nobody out there willing to spend the money and take the time and effort, willing to change it, turn it around, and put it back on top again. But I do really believe that CZ has the money and the ability to turn it around and put them back on top again. So like I said, share your comments down below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see y'all next time.